What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a review for The Oval on BET. This is season 3, episode 9, and the episode is titled Glove Off, you guys. So, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel, and you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and stop taking me on this date and hit that subscribe button and have me pay for it at the end of it. Basically, stop taking me out on this date, having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me a big favor by hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button, turning your notifications on, sharing the video. And you guys, with that out the way, without further ado, let us discuss The Oval on BET. All right, you guys, so I do have to say that this episode was much better than the last one, right? I enjoyed this episode. So we see, you guys remember in the last one, we left off with Alan and Ellie's room, right? With that baseball bat, right? So Ellie wakes up and she goes to the bathroom. I'm like, Ellie, you didn't notice that Alan was standing behind you this entire time? But okay, she didn't notice it, right? So when she goes to the bathroom, Alan gets a phone call from Victoria, who is at the White House watching Alan on some kind of a monitor, right? And she's asking him what is taking so long. He's like, "You're watching me?" She says, "Yes, I am." Right? So she says again, like she said, what's taking him so long? Right? He tells her that he can't do it. She's like, "Take a look outside of your window." So he looks outside of his window, and there's a guy, somebody sitting downstairs. Right? Then she asks him about his mother, and when he says, "Why are you asking about my mother?" So then she tells him that, what did she say? She asked him how's his mother. He asked her, he okay. So he asked her to get the guy who's been, gripped to do it. And she's like, what fun would that be? I was like, wow, Victoria, disgusting, right? So Ellie comes back into the room. When he heard Ellie coming back, he's like, she's coming back. So he hung up the phone, right? So when Ellie comes back in the room, she asks, Alan, what's wrong? And he tells her to go to bed. So then she asked Alan, like, why are you still here after all of the things that I've done? You know I slept with Hunter, so why are you still here? Good question, right? But I'm like, girl, you don't. He's been forewarning you for the last few episodes now. But okay, yeah, I guess you just didn't heed his warnings. But whatever, right? So she tells him that she was wrong and that she's in love with him and that she's ended things with Hunter at this point, right? And then she says that she wants to make it up to him, right? And then as she's getting ready to try to make things up to him, pop, we hear a bullet and we see her go down and we see blood splatter on the wall. I was like, well, where did that come from? Like, does Victoria have a marksman somewhere? Like, what the hell? And we'll talk about it a little bit more once we get to the end of the episode, because the end of the episode plus the breaking news alert kind of confused me. But hey, let's move forward, you guys. So we see Max, right? So you guys remember Max and Bobby left from being with the vice president, right? So they're in the back of this van, and the vice president calls Max, telling him where he and Bobby are going. He's sending them to a hotel, right? So once he hangs up the phone, Max tells Bobby what vice president said, right? Bobby asked Max, "Do you trust him?" He was like, "Not really." He like, I don't know what to believe at this point, right? But he says that he feels that they should, at least think about it. I'm like, really? You guys know that Hunter is no good, but you guys know everyone in this administration is no good, but y'all gonna trust the vice president. Me personally, I don't know if I would trust the vice president, but hey. So then we move over to Sam, right? So Sam goes back to the control room where he sees Kyle. He's asking Kyle, what are you doing? Kyle says, he's just watching some footage. And he's like, who told you to watch the footage? He says, I'm doing this for, Donald. So he says, why? He says, you might want to ask Donald that question, right? So then Sam tells him that they have a 24-hour detail on Jason, right? So Sam eventually leaves. So once Sam left, Kyle called Donald up, right? And he was telling Donald, like, hey, Sam is asking questions. And Donald was like, I don't give a shit about Sam asking questions. He says, did you find him? And, um, Kyle says, no signs of him. Like, we bought the dogs and we've done this, and there are literally no signs of Bobby, right? So Donald says, okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to Lily and see what I can get out of her, right? So then we see Lily, she's in her room, and Donald comes in there and he's asking her why was Bobby at the White House, right? She tells him to get out, right? So he tells her, if I don't find him within an hour, I'm coming back in here tomorrow morning and I'm gonna make you tell me everything. And she's like, you do that and you're gonna have one right here in your dome, right? He says, good luck with that one, right? So then, hold on. So then, she tells him, he tells her, your phone, it ain't gonna work in here, right? So then she goes looking for her gun and it ain't there. I'm like, Lily, you kind of put yourself in this position, right? You literally put yourself in this position, but hey, it is what it is, right? So then we move over to Barry. So we see Barry, he's outside of the house, right? He's kissing on this girl, and Sharon comes up. When Sharon came up, Sharon was visibly in her feelings when she saw the girl, right? She's like, who is this girl? He was like, oh, this is Mia. So then, she tells Mia to leave, right? Then her and Barry start going at it because Kareem pulled up. Now, why did Kareem pull up is a good question, right? So Richard and Nancy comes outside like, y'all need to come inside. Come on in. Because y'all know Jody done already called us. I'm like, how did Jody call y'all when Kareem literally just pulled up? Unless Miss Jody saw him when he pulled up outside and she was like, ooh, let me call in. And here's the other thing. Miss Jody's lights were off. So it is what it is, right? So they go in the house, right? So they ask what's going on, right? So Kareem tells them everything that's going on with Sharon about the person who came into the pharmacy, ransacked the pharmacy. He went back to the pharmacy. Sharon wasn't there, but then he called for Sharon, and then some strange guy answered the phone and gave the phone to Sharon. So then he also tells them about the president calling Sharon, right? So Richard stops him, right? He says, Sharon, he says, Kareem, you go home. Sharon, you stay here. We all going to sleep. And they all looking at him like, what the hell? Because he told Sharon, you've been through a lot, so you're probably just, confused. And they all looking at him like, Richard, what are you talking about, right? So Richard gets some notepads out, right? So then on the first notepad, he asked her where's her phone at, right? So she gives him his phone, and then he shows it to Kareem and everybody, right? So they all start giving him his phone, giving him their phones, right? So then he writes on another one that he feels that her clothes might be bugged, right? How do you bug somebody's clothes? I'm just curious about that one. I know when like FBI informants, I know they have to put like, and even with them, they'll put like a microphone on them so that where they can catch everything. How do you bug somebody's clothing is my question, because I'm just still thinking about how do you put a bug on someone's clothing and they not know. And then the other question that I have is how in the hell would they put a bug on Sharon's clothing when Sharon didn't get undressed and have sex with Hunter? Questions, right? Now I get how they can bug her phone because Kyle had her phone, so I got that part. I got that Kyle can bug her phone. That part I got, but her clothing, didn't understand it. So once again, Richard tells Kareem, you go home, and we all going to sleep, right? So then he writes down on the notepad for Sharon to go take a shower, leave her clothes in the bathroom, and that'll be that. I'm still stuck on how the hell do you bug somebody's clothes? How do you? I mean, now what I can say is maybe he can stick something in her pockets, but again, that wouldn't mean that Sharon would have had to taken her clothes off, which she didn't. But hey, whatever. Let's move forward, you guys. So then we move back over to Kyle and Max, right? So Kyle and Max make it to this hotel. Once they get into the hotel, they realize, hey, there's only one bed here. Then it says Mr. and Mr. whoever. They were like, oh shit. So we're supposed to be playing like we're a gay couple now, right? So Bobby thinks they should bring Max Blakely into the situation, right? Max, however, disagrees, right? Saying that he wants to protect her. So then Bobby tries to call Lily and the phone won't go through. So he's like, the phone lines are scrambled, which you should have knew that, Bobby. It's okay. I'm not even gonna go too deep into it, right? So then we move back over to Kareem. So Kareem went home and Dale was there, right? So Dale is asking him where is Sharon at. He says she's not coming home tonight. He says she with that guy Barry. So then Kareem tells him what's going on, right? Well, not really. Kareem asks him about Kyle. And, Dale says, did something happen to her? So Kareem says, what did Kareem say? Well, no, Dale tells him that he thinks that, no, actually, Kareem tells him that he thinks, no, I was right. Kyle, I'm tired, you guys. So, Dale told Kareem that he thinks Kyle is behind his shooting, right? And then, Dale goes forward and tells Kareem about the situation with Hunter when they went to the White House and how Hunter was with Sharon. So then after that, we move back over to Sharon. So Sharon took her shower, and Nancy went into their bedroom, and she asked Richard, "Do you want to talk to Sharon?" He says, "Yes." She says, "Do you want me to stand outside the door?" He says, "Please." So Sharon goes in there, right? And Richard asks Sharon what happens, right? So she tells him about, Kyle coming to the pharmacy, her shooting him, right? But he had on a bulletproof vest. And then, they ended up somewhere in some kind of tunnel, right? And then the next thing she knows, she's in front of, the president, right? So he tells her, he can help her, right? So then we see Sharon. So Sharon goes back into the room with Barry. Barry, is getting ready for bed. And Barry wants to, hold Sharon. She's like, no, not after you just put with that girl, right? She said, "I thought you were done with the rackadooshies." He said, "What are you talking about?" Excuse me, y'all. She says, "I thought you were done with the rackadooshies." He's like, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "That girl, I saw her outside. I mean, she looks different outside of the clothes, but I still recognize her. I saw her outside of the pharmacy, and she is definitely a part of the rackadooshies." So then Barry's like, he starts looking for that money. He said, "Oh shit, she took the money. Like Ruth sent her." I'm like, "You stupid. Wait a minute, is that the same girl he just had sex with?" Poor Barry. Poor Barry. Or should we say poor Barry? I don't know. But hey, let's move on, you guys. So we see Jason. So Jason's waking up, and Grip is still there, right? And he asks him, why is he there, right? So Grip says he's there basically to assist Jason. And Jason asks him, where is Gail? Because he says, you obviously must be having sex with my mom. Maybe, maybe not. But you would know that though. You would know. Because the way you creep around places, you would know if Grip was having sex with Victoria. You know that Victoria's had sex with Sam. You know that Hunter had sex with Ellie. You know that he had sex with Denise. So you know who everybody's having sex with. So I don't believe Grip is having sex with your mother. Because if he were, your little creepy ass would know it. And your little creepy ass would be messing with him far worse than what you are already doing, right? So Jason tells Grip that he needs to take a shower, and Grip says, "Okay, well, I'm going to be right behind you." He says, "So you're going to watch me?" He says, "I'm kidding." Now, I will say that is a little creepy, right? That is a little creepy. Even when we talk about Jason, right? I'm going to take a shower. You're telling me you're going to watch me take a shower? I would just tell you, you know what? It's fine. I'll stay dirty. Like, I don't want you in the... Unless I'm an invalid, I don't need you watching me take a shower. Now, yes, in the shower, what can you can slip and fall. But other than that, it ain't really about me. You probably could do some things in the shower to try to unlive yourself, but yeah, no. I was just telling him, you know what, I'm good. I don't really need a shower that badly, right? So then Jason proceeds to tell him that when he goes into the shower, he's going to jack off, and he's going to jack off hard and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Grip tells him, don't do that or he'll make it hell for him, basically. I'm like, from the looks of Jason, I think Jason might actually like that. But hey, whatever. So the next morning we see Max and Bobby. They're in the bed together, right? So they were trying to figure out who was gonna sleep in the bed. Max said he was sleeping in the bed, but we see Max up under the sheets, Bobby's up on top of the sheets. Max woke up like, what the are you doing here? He says, there was no way I was sleeping on that sofa, right? He said, he said, you farted all night. I almost thought about leaving, but I didn't, right? So then Max asked, him, did he go see Lily last night? He says, no, he didn't. So then, Max once again asked him if he feels that he can trust the VP. And Bobby says, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? So then there's a knock at the door, and they go to the door. Actually, when they got to the hotel room, they started checking it, making sure that there were no bugs in it, right? So there are no bugs in the hotel room. So then when they went to the door, it was the vice president there, right? So the vice president comes in and they ask him, why are we a gay couple, right? He says, because there's some kind of convention going on here and they thought that it would be, better, that would be a little bit less conspicuous, right? So then they said, why is it just one bed? He said they had ran out of the two bedrooms. How? Well, two beds. How? If there's a convention there for gay men, you would think if there is a convention for gay men and they're all married, they would get a single bed room instead of a room with two beds in it, right? If you're a married couple, you're not gonna get this is not the 1940s. You're not gonna get a room with two beds in it. You're gonna get a single bed. But hey, I'm just it didn't make sense to me. But hey, in Tyler Perry's mind, I guess it made sense, but it really did make sense. But hey, we're gonna move forward, right? So the vice president starts pleading his case to both Bobby and to Max, right? So he's telling them that what he's gonna do is he's gonna go to the White House and he's gonna tell Hunter that he is going to expose all the information that he has on him currently, right? Bobby and Max, however, is like, I don't think that that's a good idea, which I agree with them, right? But what he wants to do is he wants to tell them that Bobby and Max are a part of his detail, so that way, if they try to come after him, they can't. There ain't much that they can do. But here's the other thing, right? Because he said that he's going to go to Hunter as well as the press and tell them what he knows. But what evidence does he have? I mean, from what he told us last week, the only thing that he has is what Diane Wilmot told him, and Diane is no longer with us. So what evidence does he have? We know that Priscilla had the stuff that Diane gave her, but Priscilla still has that, right? Does she? We haven't come back to that. So then we see Kyle, right? So Kyle calls Donald saying that, he has nothing on Bobby, right? So then, Donald asked him where was he. He said, I'm at the front door. So C opens the door, right? So Kyle tells him that there's no signs of Bobby at the White House whatsoever, right? So they say it had to be someone powerful to get him out of the White House. So they say Hunter, First Lady, but Donald's like, no, it's none of them, right? Because at one point he says there's no one more powerful than me. You're the chief of staff. There are people that are higher than you. The president, the first lady, the vice president, so there are people that are hiring you. So then they both go up to the attic where Lily is, right? And they gonna rough Lily up because, Donald told Donald told Kyle to glove up. She was like, what does that mean? Put on a condom. He's like, oh no, baby, that ain't what that means. So he put some gloves on his hands and he goes after Lily. And that is actually where the episode ended, you guys. So that is it. Now, here's what I want to talk about real quick. The preview for next week's episode, right? The preview for next week's episode, we see a reporter, and that reporter is saying that the White House press secretary was shot, right? But then after that, we got a breaking news report where there's a reporter saying that the White House press secretary has been shot and killed, and we see the people at her apartment wheeling her out on the stretcher in a body bag. I was like, so what? But that's the episode, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about it. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified of when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.